This is a good area to point this out. Usually tree plantings of this age are in need of timber stand improvement or forest stand improvement, what foresters call TSI. And it may look like somewhat open underneath, at least at eye level as you look straight. But if you were to look up in the forest canopy, you get a real view of what's going on in the overstory and the upper canopy. And as you see there, the crowns are fighting for space. And so the idea, or what I would recommend if this was a landowner that I was consulting with, I would recommend a crop tree release in here. Basically what that is identifying the best trees in here, form, acceptable growing stock, straight, don't have any undesirable crotches. U-shaped crotches are preferred rather than V-shaped, and certainly spacing amongst the trees, and really removing some of the trees, so then 2 to 3 sides of those trees that are left, the crop trees, can get released, especially mast producing or acorn producing. Really any kind of nut producing tree can produce more food for the wildlife and also produce more acorns, encourage additional acorn production for the future. There's some sycamore in here as well. I just have one right here in front of me, but as I moving down the hill away from the overlook further into this tree planting, getting away from where they planted the poplar, getting into more, I mean there's quite a bit of red oak in here, northern red oak, but also a lot more white oak planted in here. A little bit about tree identification. Might as well point out as I'm walking through here, as I'm mentioning some of these trees. This tree here is what I call yellow poplar. It's a very unique leaf. And if you can see the bud, if you look at it just right, it looks like a duckbill. So that's a good way to identify what that is. And then here's a sugar maple right here. These are have opposite arrangement. You can see that there, oppositely arranged branches. Branches come out from the stem of the branch across from one another. There's a good look at the leaf. The edges of a leaf compared to red maple are smooth rather than having what they call serrated margins. See that there. And at this point in time, they're not that big, but the buds are pointy as compared to red maple, which are rounded and clustered. Here's something neat I always enjoyed as a kid. Here's some jewelweed right here. And you can see the beautiful flowers here. Deer actually love eating these. I don't know if you can see these pods right here. See this pod? Oh! These pods. Watch. Oh, see it? They just explode in your hand when they get mature. They launch the seeds into the air. Watch. That one didn't do it very well. Let's see if we can find another one. Here's one right here. Watch. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, making our way along the trail here. Entered onto the yellow trail, the yellow portion. They intersect, crossing the bridge here. Have an interpretive sign here. Ephemerals in here in the spring. Got a wet area. Looks like a nice vernal area. Some areas in here, vernal pools, seasonal wet areas for various types of aquatic species, frogs, salamanders. Where we're going next, we're going to a Scotch pine planting. And I'm actually really curious to see what this looks like, because I'm not really a fan of Scotch pine. On most sites it does not do well. Doesn't live very long, grows very scraggly. So looking forward to seeing what it looks like. Here's a few notes as I'm walking through here, forestry and wildlife. You can see the open understory. Sorry, I'll try to speak up here, getting closer to the interstate. So there's not much in the understory, made up of northern hardwood species, mostly yellow poplar and sugar maple. And this is of concern because although there is a place for large timber stands like this, as far as cover, food for wildlife, not much here. And you can even see over here as well. So from a forestry standpoint, nice looking trees in here, very healthy. Poplar, there's a red oak over there on the other side of the drainage. And I should note too, the trail I'm walking on is very well maintained. We're coming up here on the planting. I'm just consulting my notes. It said it was planted in 1967. 1967 Scotch pine planting. It says it's Scotch pine, but this stand right here is Eastern white pine. So I don't know if they just got it. It's about the same spot on the map. Interesting. So, okay, I thought we were going to look at Scotch pine. Well, I guess we're going to look at Eastern white pine. It's going to be a bit noisier in here, so hopefully you can bear with me. Average diameter at breast height is about 16-17 inches. There's some fern in the understory. You can probably see here behind me. You got some white ash right here. Seedlings. Not really much in the understory to speak of, but here's a really neat tree. Too bad I don't have smell-o-vision, but this is a nice shrub that I like to often point out to my clients. That spice bush has a real fragrant citrusy smell to it.